Hey, this is Meta Dead from the Dead Deads, and you're listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience Podcast.
The Metal Teddy Bear Experience has begun.
And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience Podcast right now. This is your host, Chris. We got my boy, Jesse. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, how's it going?
And today we have a special guest on episode 50. We have Meta of the Dead Deads. What's up? How you doing?
What's up?
It's great
Glad
to have you on.
here.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show. This is something we've been looking forward to, so it's great to have you on. And I just want to say shout out to that new video you guys put out with Corey Taylor. Killing it right there.
Thank you. Yeah, what a labor of love. That's a really, we're really proud of how that turned out, given the COVID, shooting videos in COVID, co-writing in COVID. It was a crazy thing, and just can't believe it all came together.
Oh, definitely. I mean, let's drop that album's title right now. Tell Your Girls It's All Right. August 20th, it's coming out via Rumble Records. So, yeah, with this record too. It was funny when we were looking at it, it was like you have 16 tracks on this record. That's a lot. Usually now I feel like bands have been kind of like, making it smaller and stuff like that. Like sometimes it's almost an EP. 16 tracks. How did that happen?
Well, we always just do the opposite of what people say is a good idea. So I think we just had extra time, right? And so we had all these songs ready. We had like 20 songs ready for the record. And then we were dialing it back. And then we just decided to do, it's 12 songs on the record. And then 200 copies of the record will have those additional 4 songs. So everybody that gets it like streaming or download or whatever, they're going to have 12. And then the people that get it on the limited edition vinyl will have 16.
Oh, awesome.
That's sweet. So right now, like people can go out and pre-order that vinyl, right?
Yep. Yeah. And I think of that limited edition that has the extra songs, there's only like under 50 left as of today. So that might be like, it might even be gone soon, but or already. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's why.
When people are gonna hear this, but if you're replaying this, it might be gone. But yeah. So, but I mean, obviously, plenty of vinyl still available, and I don't know when we'll ever put those other 4 songs out. I think it's kind of cool to just be like, yeah, they're just for the people that get that vinyl. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember a big fan of Dillinger Escape Plan, and they have a single called "Happiness Is Just a Smile," and I was pissed that they did. They was so cool, but I was like, I want to get it. And they just only did it in a European tour. They didn't even do it in America and everywhere. They're just like, dude, if you're not in Europe, go fuck yourself. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, for me, Dillinger in a lot of ways is kind of the North Star of cool. When you're like thinking about like what is cool to do across the board as a band, they definitely make choices that I approve of on both musical and marketing fronts, or they did. Yeah. Oh
yeah, absolutely. Things I would be like if I was in a band and I'd be like, man, I'm a poser. Then I just watch them do it. I'm like, they just know what they're doing, dude.
It's in their blood to be incredible. It never felt forced. I remember I'd see them on lineups with, a bunch of other bands, whatever. And it was always like all these bands playing. Then it's like, okay, daddy's home.
Yeah.
Get out of the way, kids. Daddy's home. Let daddy show you how to do it. These are the rafters, and this is how you pull them down.
That's so awesome.
He was literally climbing up there, Greg.
Yeah.
At the show we went to Terminal 5, like one of their last shows. I forgot which night I went. Jesse went to all of them.
You went to I got crazy sick after that. It was not good. But no, it was awesome. I will say you can only do it when you end your career. So I guess it's like a one thing, but they have if you're, you're a fan. So do you happen to know the song called Prancer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the second night they opened with it, which is a great opener. But Greg just jumps down to the audience and it goes dark. And he's like, this is the last time we'll ever hear this song again live. It goes a little like this. And it kicks down. I was like, holy shit. Like, I was like, you can only do that once. I was like, what? Oh my God. And then it brings you back like, oh yeah, this is like one of the last times. Shit.
Yeah, that's tough. I think one of their shows was the only times like I was on the rail for one of their shows, and I had pockets full of stuff because it was like an all-day metal fest. And then like when the show was over, everything in my pockets had been crushed by like the metric butt ton of people behind me. So like there was like a vape pen like that was just like crystallized, and like it was like plastic dust, and like everything in my pockets. My cell phone was destroyed, everything ruined. And it was the one time I was like, yeah, whatever, it was worth it.
Dude, it's crazy when you're on the rail for those types of shows. I feel like you're just doing constant push-ups the whole time you're playing, like just pushing people back. That happened to me like at Slipknot at Heavy Montreal. Like the whole time I just felt like I'm gonna like break in half right now.
Yeah, I can't do the rail anymore. I got an injury from the pit. I wasn't in the pit. I was pit adjacent in front of the pit on the rail, and I got a pretty bad injury. It actually ended up being a long-term brain injury from the pit. So warnings of the pit, like it's all fun and games till someone gets brain damage. So
what show is that?
Spin kicked? What happened?
Yeah.
It was actually a Goldfinger show in Honolulu.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
never make fun of ska. They go hard.
They go so. I mean, Goldfinger back in the day, it's still going. But yeah, some of those shows were crazy. But yeah, I was just like having a nice time on the rail, just singing along, and got like butt fucked. No, but so I don't do that anymore. I'm like I watch from afar now. To stay on the safe side. I put in my years in the pit. I'm good.
See, that's a moment I felt old too. Like there's Acacia Strain, Harm's Way, Kubakan, and some other band. They're all playing at St.
Other band.
I'm sorry, I don't know the opening band.
That's cruel. You should have just said the one band, but all of them but
just
one.
Shit on all they work for. Hey, we finally got this tour
and that
those
band.
guys. Anyways,
hey, when I edit this in, the bill will be right here, so everyone can see that one band. I forgot. I'll edit it right in. But they were playing at St. Vitus. Have you ever been at St. Vitus in Brooklyn?
Hell yeah.
There we go.
I've never gotten to play St. Vitus. That's on my bucket list of places I want to play.
Dude, and you know how small it is too. So having all those really, aggressive pit bands right there, I'm like, I'm definitely getting punched in the face when I go to that show. I might have to stand in the back by the bar and just watch from afar. I was about to
say you could like kind of hover in the bar corner area, maybe.
Yep.
You're just sitting there with the one bartender.
Nice ladies in front of you for protection.
Yeah, but that makes me feel old. I'm like, I'm not that old yet, but then I'm like, I don't want to go all the way up there now.
Well, no, there's definitely a range for that. I feel like and that's with everything in life. There's just a range where like that's just not chill anymore to do. Like that's not cool. You don't need to be seen in certain places at certain ages. So
I feel like it's almost in your tax bracket. Like when you just pay enough taxes, you're like, I just don't want to get kicked in the face. Like, dude, the wimp in me. I go to a heavy show. I'm like, yeah, this is time. Like we went and we said this on the podcast many times. We went and saw Code Orange. Vane opened up for him. And I've been to hundreds of shows, not bragging, but usually no one gives a fuck about the opening band. It sucks. And Vane's really good. So ignorantly, I'm just standing in the middle of the floor. Like nothing's going to happen. The first note, we all got punched in the face. I was like, all right. And then immediately, like some lady was like, at the end of the band, we just survived. And then some lady's like, VIP upgrade, $50, you get a beer ticket. I was like, there we go. I'm going to buy it immediately. And we're on the balcony drinking beers. Like, this is great. You're away from the psychos. I see the stage. I got a beer.
Yes.
I just like, man, I'm only in my like late 20s and I feel very old right now. I just bought my way out of danger. Just went right away.
I will never forget the first time I was at a seated rock show. Like I had seated tickets and everything in my body was going like, this is wrong. This is bad. And a friend of mine, we've been friends since we were kids. We were there together and he looked over at me and he was like, we're not going to stand up, are we? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to have to. And he's like, that's fucking sweet.
Yep.
We've graduated.
Oh, dude. My brother's like that. He's very much like, dude, it's the art, it's the energy, which I agree. There's bands that make me want to do stuff. I got to jump. I got to do whatever. But man, when I get to sit, it's just, I've seen this band 10 times. I can sit literally sit this one out. I can just chill.
There's a moment when it's kind of like, this is good.
This feels like home.
Beer. have zero fear of getting the elbow to the ear right now, and I like that.
Well, let's bring this back to your band, the Deadheads. So like, just give us like a history of the band. How the three of you guys meet? How do you guys get together and make these albums?
Well, we have been, we started like many bands as a much bigger band. And then when the reality of how expensive it is to tour and how stressful and time consuming and exhausting it is, we went meow, 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 down to three. So my sister used to be in the band, as well as a couple girls from a band that was called Catfight out of Louisville. And they joined up with our band. And so we had like kind of a bigger band, and then we've kind of separated back off. But this is actually, I don't know, it's like our fourth studio album, but our third time recording as a trio, I think. Honestly, the band came together. Everything was by jam, just friends. Like there was no plot or like, I had been playing like solo acoustic shows, and I got booked opening for or headlining, and there was like punk bands all at the front of the bill, and I was like, well, this is lame. I don't want to play acoustic with a bunch of punk bands. So yeah. I hit up Daisy, and I was like, yo, I'm booked to do this show acoustic, but like, would you like I was dating a drummer at the time, and I was like, why don't you just come over and we'll just write some punk songs, and we'll just make up a band and close this show, because it was like 2 weeks away. And she was like, well, I don't play bass. I was like, yeah, but you have one in your house, so just bring it and figure it out. And so we did. And that band was called Prim, like PRIM with an exclamation point. And we played that show, and it went really crazy good. And so then we played another show like that. And then shortly after that, we got a full-time drummer and wrote our first Dead song. So it kind of like, we kind of switched bands, and I don't know, but it's all friendship, you know, just like having fun, being silly, and it just kind of blew up really fast.
That's sick, especially for it to work, you know, just like, hey, bring your bass. Let's see how the show goes, and it works perfectly. Yeah, so her partner was in a band called the Clutters, and he played bass for the Clutters. So he was on tour doing something else and left his bass at home. Was like, bring that bass, girl. and she's super musical and plays a bunch of instruments. So she put the thing on and was like, do, bow, bow, got it. and it's funny, now she's such a featured bass player, and she plays with all different, you know, in all different genres, doing all these, you know, like benefit nights and stuff like that, and being featured in bassist PR and stuff. And it's just cool that it's really it reminds people that like at any point in time you can try something new and maybe make a career out of it, you know, just if it interests you, give it a shot, I guess.
Yeah, apparently she was reincarnated from a bassist. Like originally she was a bassist. I can't play bass. Close your eyes. Like, what the hell? I just did it.
The groove is in you.
What did I just eat? Some slinky strings or something? I don't know. I just figured it out.
Good. No, it's so good. It's so fun. Her and I have known each other since we were kids. So like, there's moments where, you know, on tour, like one moment in particular, we're driving across the Canadian Rockies. I'm driving, you know, she's sitting right beside me, and we're listening to this band that we listened to when we were 17. And we just looked at each other like, can you believe this is what we're doing all this time later? It's really a crazy thing.
It's wild. Well, especially like you said, friendship. It's way better than like, well, I hate you, but we're making money and we're making songs we like. So I guess we have to keep doing it. Basically.
Yeah, well, I know that's pretty much a rule. And I've lived that as well. Like I've done that time, you know, with people that didn't get along. And, you know, so I understand how that works. And I mean, I've seen Aerosmith come in on 3, you know, separate buses and all that shit. But like at the end of the day, the level that we're playing at, like there's no time for that. Like we're too poor to deal with that. Like I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go drive my ass overnight to go play for, you know, 100 people to be miserable all day with people that don't get along. It's just, that's no fun. So maybe if we were super ultra mega rock stars, we'd put up with it, but we're not.
I'll hate you $1 million later. How about that?
Yeah,
We'll love each
exactly,
other
like,
until our first
why
million.
not?
Like,
We have so much time to not get along. Let's get along right now.
I think there was a band saying that like they kept around, but it might have been was it the Scorpions, Jess? I think someone was telling us that like when they went out on stage, they were like, yeah, what's up, man? Great solo, whatever. And then afterwards they hated each other, they did not talk to each other, and like walked away. I was like, oh boy. I think that was Dune, right?
It was something like that. Yeah, like do all those old bands. Like when you're in a band for 40 years, like I don't
Forget
know,
about it.
like, marriages fall apart for like after like a couple of years. I can't imagine just 40 years of playing the same songs and just look at it like always messes that part up. I fucking hate you.
the same position, the same orgasm, all the same stuff for 40 years. Like, no, that's I think the rule, not the exception, is that everybody gets sick of each other. But hopefully, as I think the pandemic changed a lot of people's just appreciation for what they have, especially with touring. And I think, hopefully people that had a little space from each other, maybe in all these different bands, like maybe they came to appreciate, like, man, I really did love being on the bus with that asshole. And I really would love to be back on the bus with that asshole. And maybe some bridges will be rebuilt because of that time that all these legacy bands have had apart from each other. Maybe they can start anew.
Yeah, that would be nice, because nothing's worse than being like, I'm a huge fan of this band, and then watching them just kind of like get on their phone and ghost each other as they get off stage. Like, yeah. It's like, is he on Twitter? He's ignoring everybody, man. Whatever. See you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea that like all bands are BFFs is pretty silly, but the idea that, because they're coworkers, and that's hard. But the nice thing about what we have going on now is we do really like to hang out, and we look forward to it. And so we know that no matter what comes our way on the tour, how stressful it gets, how weird it gets, we know that we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So that's really helpful.
Well, especially because you got like you all like write really short, like fun songs. Like it's all over the place. It's very interesting. Like if you were just doing like a single type of acoustic music over and over again, you would like, maybe get sick. Like Scorpion songs, they have fun, but they all kind of sound like Scorpion. Eventually, it's like when you're like genre bending and having all these like fun takes, it keeps it interesting. And also, you have a small band too, so you're not like randomly, you got splitting all the money. It's all like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff when you have a huge band, like too.
Yeah. No, I mean, we definitely, it's easier to survive if you're on a shoestring budget. Definitely easier to survive. One hotel room gets, a 3-piece band and a sound guy through, so it definitely, there's benefits to being streamlined. And a lot of my favorite bands are power trios. So we didn't do it to be cheap, but like we did it. It was weird. We were touring as a 4-piece, and then our guitar player got a huge, like, awesome paying gig in a different band. And we were just like, go, all blessings, like go make money and be amazing. So it was all good. That's Dolly Dead, and Dolly Dead still wrote for this record. And but yeah, so we went out as a 3-piece, like kind of scared to death, because I was gonna have to hold down all the guitar myself while doing all the fronting, and I was scared. And then we did a tour like that when we were out with 10 Years, and all the guys in 10 Years had seen us as a 4-piece, and they were just like, that's sick, like that seems cool. And we were kind of like, yeah, it feels good, it feels heavier. And everybody was saying it's heavier. And the reason it's heavier is because I'm the rhythm guitar player, and I'm more like, I'm doing Helmet over here, and our other guitar player is doing all the tweedle-deedles. And so without the tweedle-deedles and jacking up my guitar, it just like, it got heavier. And so we were all like, well, that seems cool. Like just boom, boom, boom. So yeah, we just kind of went with it. And we, on our very first record, I was doing some growling. And so then it's funny, Paige Hamilton from Helmet produced one of our records. And when he produced the record, he was like, no growls. that is dumb. You're not doing that. And so we had a record with no growls, but live we like to do it so much, and it's so funny to do also. And so unexpected. It's not funny to growl, but when we do, it's funny because they don't expect it, and you can just watch the audience just be like, what?
Excuse me?
We were like, we really wanted to bring that back. So this record is really a lot like our very first record that we wrote when we had no label intervention, nobody telling us what to write, and we were just being silly and having fun. This new record is very similar to that, in that we just are thinking about what's the live show want to feel like what do we want the live show to feel like, and kind of writing to that, to creating those moments live. And then it's like, oh, and then there's a pandemic and no one gets to play live. So now all you guys just have a weird ass record to listen to. Enjoy.
So is that something you usually go for when you're like writing and thinking about like everything about the album is kind of like what will turn heads, what will kind of like, get a reaction or anything like that?
No, definitely not. I think over time we just realized that growling is fun and we like to do it. But no, I think I wish we did that more, but we are more just writing the music is getting written for our own enjoyment. But then the lyrics are kind of getting written about more the experience that we want to share with our fans. So I feel like musically, we're just kind of having a lot of fun and bringing in a lot of different influences. And we're not really stressing about like, is this catchy or who does this appeal to? And that's pretty obvious when you listen to our music because it's all over the place. And then, the lyrics are more, we're trying to tie in a message. Like, what are we trying to say with this record? Who are we trying to reach? And how can we help, basically? So yeah, how can we help is a lot of times in my forefront of my mind. Like, what can I do to help? Like, how can I say something that frames a situation in a way that's going to make somebody feel better?
Which is awesome. Yeah, that's probably why you write such great songs. Cause it's a job, but you're not like treating it like as just a straight job. You're like you said, you're having fun.
Yeah. I got nothing against songs that are great to put in a movie or like to be on the radio. I much respect for that craft. And I do that craft for other people. I think with the Deadheads, it's more, of course we want people to love our songs and for them to be on the radio and be marketable. But luckily we have the luxury of being on a label that's not priority one. So.
Which is awesome. Well, especially for the genre of music. Well, I don't even know what I'd call your guys' genre, to be honest. Like, it's just, right. Rock. Just like straight rock. Like what, yeah. But like for that genre, it's like, that's important. Like other genres can kind of get away. Like it's something about when you could feel like I'm a huge Every Time I Die fan. And I always feel like I get like, it's like, I know it's stupid, but it's like they plug like their guitars and their heart into the track. Like you feel it's all digitized, like everyone does it, but you feel the passion and you're like, damn, like, yes, like it makes their heavier parts heavier. It makes their fun parts more fun. You're like, oh, and that just makes like metal music, rock music. It's like that genre where it's like passion and all that stuff really shines through when it's high energy. And it's like, that's kind of like, I think the marquee of the genre. And I think it shows what you like, which is awesome.
Every time that's a perfect example of a band that I really listen to a lot, try to think about. I think about certain bands and like why I love them so much, why what they're doing is working. And so I definitely do try to incorporate like seeing live shows and be like, man, that worked really great. Like, how could I incorporate something like that in my stuff? But it's definitely you're always stealing from others and getting inspired by others, even if it's just the physicality of something. Like, oh, I love how physical they were during that song, and I love how they brought in the audience, and I want to figure out a way to do that with an audience or something. So yeah, but yeah, Every Time I Die, holy cow.
Which is awesome. Well, it's also like, speaking about the energy, like sometimes I've seen them live where honestly sometimes they sound really messy because they're running around so much, and it doesn't matter, just because of the sheer energy where you're like, I don't give a fuck if Keith cups the mic and you can't understand a damn word, which kills me sometimes. I'm like, Keith, your voice is great, stop cupping the mic. It's killing.
Yeah. I think it just depends too, like what kind of those guys, like it depends like what kind of day they had, what's going on, how many shows in a row they've done, like where they're at. Sometimes
they tore hard.
Sometimes those wildest and craziest shows are like when it's night 5 in a row or something, where you're just like, okay, we have put on 3 pristine shows, 1 pretty good show, and now it's time to just get loose because we aren't gonna do a perfect show, so let's just fuck it up, man.
I don't even know where I am right now. Just and she's back. No. Well, and that was and
this is a great time.
I'm doing the best I can here.
All right, so we have a segment called a Get to Know the Band. So we're going to ask you a series of questions, and you're going to tell us which member best answers the question. So we're going to get to know the Dead. So first question is, who's the band member that needs their alone time the most? What band member, kind of strays away?
Oh man, I think we all love alone time some, and I think that's what makes a marriage last. But I would say maybe McQueen, the drummer. But yeah, we all kind of like that. We like her together in our alone time. But she's like, I'll be like, where is she? And like, she went to she's just off somewhere in the city doing something badass. And then we just get to hear about it. Like, we're like, well, we would have gone to that underground weird thing you did. Like,
Does she ever give those awesome? Does she ever get those awesome responses when people do that? Yeah, you should have asked. Like, I would have told you. It's like, you were gone. You were gone too fast. Like, we didn't see you.
No, man, she's so cool. No, but I guess that's my answer is McQueen, drummer.
Question number 2. Who's the band member who's the funny person in the band? Like, who makes everyone laugh?
God, everybody. The laughter keeps the marriage together. I want to think it's me. I pride myself on being the funny one, but no, I mean, those girls make me laugh so hard. And again, I would say it's probably a tie between the other 2, between Daisy and McQueen, even though I want it to be me.
Is it because you guys are witty or anything like that, or just quoting movies, or
no? It's I guess no, it's not really quoting anything, but although everybody's pretty great with pop culture quotes, but I think it's just this innate darkness that manifests in like a dry, quirky type thing that we all kind of do to each other. So I think we all come from a very similar place of just, I would say absurdist, abstract, just silliness.
Fair enough.
Right, solid.
And I mean, we write love songs about aliens. Like, what are you expecting?
I thought it was just because you were huge Tom DeLonge fans, to be honest.
Yeah.
Who's the band member most likely to be found eating? Who's always hungry?
We used to, when Dolly was in the band, his nickname was, it was all about snacks, to the point where fans would like hashtag Dolly snacks and like take pictures of him eating and put it everywhere. But with us, like we do have this Mexican food habit that we do, but I think there's not a heavy eater in the band, really, because when you're on the road, you're just like Cliff Bars and
saving money.
If you were asking like who wants a cocktail the worst, it'd probably be me. But as far as who wants to eat the worst, I'm always the one that's like sniffing out like, how close is the nearest bar? Oh, this bar didn't open till 5 out. Where can I go?
Is that tequila? The fuck?
It's so funny too when you like certain bands, like, I mean, it depends on your level. Like Trivium, like Matt makes it like a thing to go to like every restaurant in like an area, like a special place, like sniffs out all this special, unique food. And I'm like, man, to have someone on the band like, all right, we got to go to this restaurant. It's like, man, I want a Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's really, so we've had tour crew that are like that, which is always such a gift when somebody in the crew is like a restaurant or foodie person that's already like figured out awesome places for us to eat. So we've had a few experiences like that, but we're more like natural parks. So like any kind of natural place we can go for hiking or activities. We're trying to check off all our national parks. So that's more like that's what we break for. That's what we drive overnight for, is less about like a restaurant, but more about like, what can we see? Like we've gone to wolf habitats and of course sick. Like all kinds of like national monuments, and we're just always trying to see, you know, you go club, but sometimes if you can drive a little extra and take a little extra time, you actually see the country that you're, you know, playing for, which is nice.
Yeah, which is great, because I also hear a lot of bands miss out, especially when they go overseas or something. They're just like, yeah, I haven't I've seen a bar in a basement. Like, that's what that's what Georgia was to me. That was it.
For us, kind of just frankly, like, it's like the sacrifices you make being on tour, of being away from your family and all that stuff, and like maybe being away from jobs where we could make more money or something. It's like, you got to make that count, and you have to make it something that you're going to remember. And there's so many bands I know that have toured for 3 years and don't remember anything except playing the show. And it's like, so we try to make a lot of time to do VIPs with fans, like special stuff. So we're like getting to know the people in the cities, and then also just getting to see the beauty of the cities. Yeah. That is not a food question. That is not an answer to the food question, but that is my side answer to the food question.
Dare I say, food for your soul. Now, Chris, what's the next question? Nope.
Last one for get to know the band. Who's like the parent in the band? Who's the one always managing? Be like, we have to do this, that, and that.
Oh God, me, so bad. Yeah, so bad. I'm the wolf mother. Yeah, I'm always. I mean, I'm bossy, and I'm like careful, and I'm just like, you know, where is everybody and what's going on? And that's what's cool about the trio too, is like, it's less like, I don't have to really worry about where everybody is. Like, everybody's going to show up, but I still would say, like, I plan our tour routes. I figure out what all we're going to do and when, and that's just kind of my nature.
So you're like the manager, like tour manager and all that when you guys go out and everything?
No, I mean, we don't really, no, I mean, Daisy and I kind of split that responsibility. Like, I kind of do all the pre-planning, and then while we're out, she kind of does the, like, talking to people, you know. We split up the responsibilities, because you know, we realized pretty quickly that it's exhausting for one person to do it all. So yeah, we split all that stuff up. And sometimes we have a tour manager. It just depends on the tour. But if the tour is like kind of like with 10 years, where it's just like, we know the band, they're nice, they're fun, and we just take a sound guy or a girl out and just, you know, do our thing.
So would you say basically the tour manager's for a buffer in case it gets like hairy? So a band, like you say, you don't know, where you're like, we don't know how their personalities are, you can go talk to them. It'd be easier.
Well, you know, a tour manager is super important on bigger tours, because when you have a lot of stuff to line up, like, we're supposed to be here, and then we're supposed to be there, and then these people are the VIPs. These people are not the VIPs, but they feel like they're the VIPs, and they have to go there, and they have to go there. It's like, as an artist, especially the singer, like, I only have like so many hours of air that I can push. And so it's very important to just have someone speaking for the band, like answering questions about the ins and outs of the day, so that we can just be rehearsed, rested, and ready to do what we're supposed to be doing, which is playing a damn rock show. And so it's nice that it's such a luxury. When we did the Kiss cruise, we had such a team, and it was so luxurious to just know that, like, literally anything that might come up is handled, and all we have to do is be where we're supposed to be to play. It was just like such a fine luxury, and hopefully we can do that again when we get back out on the road. We learned, like, oh, it's worth it. Like, instead of hustling for that extra money, like, it's worth it to share the pot, for sure.
So this is the life, huh? You're just like, yes. But I will say, you said with like your throat and being the lead singer, did you ever run into that when you were like, because you say you do all these VIP stuff, and like those tours, you don't do a tour, you don't have a tour manager. Did you ever run into where, like, you know, some singers, they have to like not talk for a day to like save their throat for like tours?
Yeah, I mean, that's me for sure. I remember one time I lost my voice completely, and the first thing I did, I called Lizzie Hale, and I had her on FaceTime, and she was like walking me through vocal exercises, because I was freaked out. It was just like, open the mouth, push, and just like there was just nothing.
Wow. So
we played the show that night anyway, and then I did like 2 months of vocal rest and went to like Vanderbilt Vocal Center or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. Like, and talking is the most exhausting thing for your vocal cords. And then really after the show, when it's really loud and everyone's drunk and like you're trying to talk over things and sell merch, you can lose it like that. So yeah, I just have to be careful, regardless. Like, and it sucks because I want to talk to everyone. And then sometimes you just have to stop because, like the next day you're going to have to. So I don't party. I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff on tour. Like, as far as after the show, it's like just water and trying not to talk and kind of prepping myself for the next day. And if I don't do that, then the entire next day I have to not talk, which is not my deal. It sucks really bad.
Yeah, I could say as a total civilian, talking. I love talking. Chris, you can answer that. I love talking and I love singing in my car. And let me tell you, after a 45-minute drive, I'm like, how is my throat thrashed? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not on my job. And I'm like, by the end of a weekend, if I hang out with a bunch of people, I'm like, my throat hurts and I can barely talk. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's about how long it takes, is 45 minutes. So if you're doing a set that's longer than 45 minutes and it's aggressive music, which, I mean, the albums are one thing, the live show's a little different. I sing a little more aggressively live than on the records. And so, yeah, it's you get there. And so you really have to just kind of be precious with it. I've got vocal polyps. I don't want to have surgery because I don't want my voice to change, but I've had them like since I was a teenager. So it's just you've got a certain amount of air and time and you just have to kind of manage it. And that's what, like with Keith, with Every Time I Die, it's like, same thing. Like, he's just got to manage his air. And if he doesn't manage his air, then he's going to have to do things different. And then you have to sing things different and change it up. And honestly, fans kind of love that. So it's kind of fun to just play with if you're having a night where you've used 50% of it when the show starts, then you're just kind of changing up what you're doing to make sure you can end strong.
Yeah, it makes honestly, especially bands that like actually weirdly, it's a weird band to bring up, but the red jumpsuit apparatus, phase that I live
Every Time I Die in them.
Well, no, because Keith, it made me sad because obviously I'm not a singer and I've been a huge metal fan like for basically all my informative years. And like when I hear it interviews, it's like, it just hurts. Like he's just like, it sucks. I'm like, oh, that's not good. It feels like you're not going to be around for much longer, Keith. And luckily, that was a couple of years ago, so he's still doing it. But Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, like talk about singers morphing their sound. He sang too goddamn high on the record, and I watched like a bunch of videos from when that Face Down music video came out, and I was like, this is great. Saw live, I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. And then you see him an adult, his voice got a little deeper. They just tuned down. They like went down a key. He sounds amazing. It sounds better than ever. It's like, you just sing properly, like for your voice. And not shred your throat every night because, you're known as that guy or girl.
It's something producers do too. And I just came across it actually like a week ago. A producer was saying this about an artist they were working with, about like whatever it is, they tune it like 3 clicks up even higher. Because in the studio, like the higher it is, like the more energy and the more like passion you're going to bring to it when you hit those notes. Then you go out and try to tour that. And real quick, you realize like that sucks.
Oh, no.
So so we definitely we didn't have a producer telling us to go higher, but I was just like, oh, listen to me, I'm like AFI up here, and then you're like, okay, I'm doing this live and it hurts like a bitch. So like it's not supposed to hurt. Like singing shouldn't hurt and screaming shouldn't hurt, growling shouldn't hurt. So like that's, you learn like, okay, I was doing that. I need to move the whole song down. I remember when I saw Faith No More for the first time, I was like, oh, I see how to write songs to create these dynamic moments where everything's amazing and high and screamy and crazy, but you don't live there the entire song. That way, when you go to it, everyone loses their minds because it sounds so good, but you don't stay there the whole time. And so after I saw Faith No More, I really changed how I was writing my vocal stuff. Like make it have these big moments, but you're not just screaming the whole time. No matter what I'm writing for, I try to remember that now. Like make it so it can scale to the live tour.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Well, especially because like you said, dynamic moments. If you're already at 9 and you got to go to 10 for your like big moment, it's like, this kind of sucks. This is really hard. Like, do you have any more to give?
You were at 9. No one knows you were at 9 and no one cares you were at 9 because you've been doing it the whole time. Yeah. So they don't feel how impressive 9 is if the song started in 9. So you got to start the song at 2 and then go like 5 2 5 2 5 2 10. 5'2", 5'2", 7'10". Yeah, that's the Faith No More lesson that I.
The only people that know you're at 2 and 5 is the Impress Me bros on the side with the folded arms. You're at 2 right now. How do you know, Tom? Get out of here.
Yeah,
well, we got another segment for you here. It's called the random silly question segment. We asked you 3 random questions. So the first one is an either or. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
Would you rather wake up? Would you rather have the taste of mayo in your mouth forever, or every morning you wake up, you're covered head to toe in peanut butter?
Oh God. God, that's would you rather's are so damn nasty. I guess I'd rather just have. I mean, I would just need to find a mate who loves the taste of mayo.
Do you like mayo or do you hate it?
I don't like it. But I am not human, and so I don't like peanut butter at all.
Wow,
you're damn.
I know. It's hard for humans to understand that a being could not like peanut. I do not like it. So I think it's sticky and weird, and it's just weird. So that's a toss up. But I guess I would go with mayo in my mouth taste, because the actual mayo is not in my mouth, just the taste of mayo. Yeah. Whereas like with the peanut butter, there's literal peanut butter on my whole body. That's a big hassle.
In your hair, your sheets. Yeah.
On tour, like you wake up, there's peanut butter all over you again.
Yeah.
Nah, don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
You have a designated spot on the van bus. It looks like just like a meteorite of peanut butter struck. It's like, that's where she sleeps. She's not let anyone else.
And again, you could find a mate that would enjoy that, but I think just it's a time thing. I don't have time for that.
At the time. We don't even have a sink on the road. What are we going to do?
No.
All right. Question number 2. Here we go. If you had a third ear, where would you put it?
That would be very nice. I think I would just put it on the back of my head. Right? So then you got kind of like surround sound. That's pretty. That'd be pretty awesome.
Because I make it corny though. I say I can hear people talking behind my back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a no-brainer.
There we go.
Someone sneaking up behind you. You're ready for it.
Finally. Yeah. If you ever wanted to become an assassin of some sort, you're ready. You just can hear everything.
I think the best one was elbow. Someone said elbow. I was like, you're going to be banging, getting the ringing in your ear from your elbow. I don't know about you guys, but my elbow is always getting hit on something.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to keep it in the aural spectrum up here. For sure.
Just want to throw your whole life in a whack, just put it on your calf. Let's see what happens. I want to hear what gravel sounds like all day.
Yeah, that sounds annoying as hell. Yeah, just keep it up with its friends.
All right, question number 3. What's the best way to eat a potato?
I love baked potatoes. And I think a lot of times we ruin a baked potato by putting so much crap on it. Just a baked potato. I love it with everything. I love it like 90s style from Wendy's with like cheddar and broccoli. I love it with jalapenos and sour cream, whatever. It's a nacho, nature's nacho. But just a potato with salt and butter and maybe little chives and taste what the earth made. It's so good.
Yeah, I love potatoes. Sweet potato, like the fries too, like mashed potatoes. I'll take them anyway.
Anyway, I had one yesterday. I had one the day before yesterday. I love them.
Here we go. Jess, what about you, man? I know how much you love potatoes.
I'm just a hunk of garbage, dude. I love French fries. I'm just like, that's it. Just give me French fries. That's it. Just like,
there's not a bad way. There's not a bad way to eat a potato, but that's why I encourage go back to the source, eat it natural, and see. Remember the potato. Remember what it tasted like before they made it taste better, because it's still pretty good.
Remember where I had an ex-girlfriend that used to eat raw potatoes. I was like, that's some next level shit, dude.
I'm glad you're not together, because she's insane.
Yeah, she's a psycho. She's I'm gonna incite. Actually, I still really like. No, she's great, But for the podcast, she's a psychopath who just bites a potato.
That's
like
not
dirty.
No. That's not fine. I don't trust that. I would say replicant, beware. She is not human. I should know.
Does she drive a car? Man. Get her off the road. She's gonna crash into something. Get her.
No, she's probably very nice and fine, but she's not a human because humans know not to do
that. They know better.
Yeah.
Well, that was the random silly question segment. You answered them awesomely, so thank you for that. So yeah, I mentioned this kind of in the beginning of the interview, but I want to mention it now. You guys worked with Corey Taylor on a song, the Murder Ballad 1. How was it working with Corey? How'd you guys meet? Oh, 2. Sorry, Murder Ballad 2.
You're ruining our podcast cred, dude. You're fucking things up.
Live with Corey Taylor.
That's okay. No, it's fine. There's a lot to unpack, but long story short, the original Murder Ballad was on a record that Corey Taylor really liked, and he discovered it online from Twitter fans telling him you would really like it. He listened to it. He did really like it. And what happens sometimes on the internet, which is incredible, is he started telling people he really liked it and started selling copies because he told people he liked it. So, or at least people were streaming it, checking it out. And long story short, him and I became friends on Twitter. We ended up doing a show with them in Albany, New York. And then he ended up bringing us out on tour with Stone Sour. And we just kind of clicked as songwriters. He really likes what I do with lyrics. And so we had talked about writing something together. And Murder Ballad was just his favorite song off that For Your Obliteration record. And so when we were talking about what we would write about, I was like thinking it would be fun to do a sequel to it. In Murder Ballad, the lovers, like, it's a story about a serial killer and someone that's obsessed with them. And in the end, they both die. It's a classic, like, Nashville country murder ballad, but hard rock. And so in this second one, it tells the story of their ghosts. So yeah, it's just a continuation. And we filmed the video with 6 different cameras in different locations and made it work. And it's a badass song. Our voices sound, it's weird because we'd never sung together. And then when we heard what it sounded like, we were both kind of like, damn, that sounds really good. So yeah, it worked out. We did it for fun, but it ended up being good art. So that's great.
Oh, yeah, no, well, that's great because also it could, if the inverse happened, you just hear the recorded voices like, oh shit, we don't work together. Well, it's just like, we're going to get the publicity. So just put it out. Just shit.
Yeah. I've done a lot of backup singing for different male artists over the years. And I felt pretty confident that whatever he put forward, I could make it work, but it ended up being very easy. Like it's just our tones have a similar quality. So it worked out really good.
Yeah, it sounded great. And also, it's great getting like a contact like that, but he's also one of the busiest like metal rock singers. And it's almost like, yeah. And it's like, were you worried about ever getting it out, or was it because of COVID? It was like, wow, it kind of the perfect time. Now we're able to do this.
No,
or did it happen before COVID?
No, he was so slammed the whole time during COVID. We wrote it during COVID. He was so slammed because he was he was writing, recording, and prepping everything for CMFT, so like, he had this big solo album, which is a huge deal, like that's a huge deal to walk into something like that, which takes tons of prep. And so he was in the middle of all that. And I wasn't afraid that he wasn't going to do it, but I will say, there were times that things were coming down to a deadline where I would just shoot him a text like, yo, are you going to do this? Cause we gotta go. So, but no, he's such a, like, just the fact that he did it just shows what a good dude he is. And I guess everybody kind of already knows that, but it's just another showing of like, this is a good salt of the earth dude, man. He's like, I like this artist. I'm going to co-sign him by singing on the track. And it's a huge favor to us, obviously. And that's just what nice people do, and he's a nice person. I mean, and he likes what we're doing and he wants other people to hear it. So that's the way I look at that.
Yeah, that's a huge compliment too. And like the fans loved it as well. I mean, if you ever look at the YouTube comments, a lot of them, like, there's like one right here. It's like, don't try to hide it, people. We know we want a full album of the Deadheads and Corey. You know what I mean? You know, so like
I was fully expecting a maggot onslaught of hate. I don't know why I thought that, but I was just like, oh, they're gonna be pissed that it's not like Corey's going around singing love songs with chicks, you know, like that's not what he does.
Yeah.
So I felt pretty honored that he even did that kind of material with us. Because we have a lot heavier songs that we could have featured him on, but I think it's more special and cool to have him to be able to show off like, look, this is another side of this person and it's really fucking good. So he's got an amazing voice for that kind of music. And I think that's what he's trying to show off too with his solo stuff is like, look, I am multifaceted and here are all the things that I like to do. I like to sit at a piano and sing a love song about my wife. Yeah, this is shit I like to do. So, there was very few negative comments, which was really surprising, but also just, you know, you can't look at it and say he did bad. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, this bitch is ugly, or like, what are you're gonna say? Like, there's not that much to hate on, except like, hey, this video looks homemade or something. Like, yeah, it was, bitch. It's COVID, so like, I feel like there's not that much to hate on there. It's just a cool song with, you know, a couple cool dudes singing, whatever.
You gotta watch that. Don't tempt the haters. They don't need logic.
They don't.
No.
Like, dude, right. Converse suck. None of us are wearing Converse. Whatever, idiot. You're like, dude, what is this guy's problem? I hate this guy.
Well, total
hey man, shoe haterism goes all the way to the top. I heard MGK hating on people because they were wearing like tennis shoes instead of Doc Martens, and I was like, look, what? What? No. Shoes? What? Why are we? Yeah. Oh my God! You're supposed to be setting the example. Don't troll people because at Warped Tour because of their shoes. They're working hard. It's 110 degrees. Like they don't want to wear Docs. They're hot.
Just as you're trying to enter like the band area, you just have MGK there, just armful. Nope. Doc Martens and get the hell out.
No, you don't look hardcore and rock enough. Move it to the side.
Go sell water. We got water here for you. Go sell water. Make some money.
I was like, I'm sorry, but you can't. All love to MGK, but don't come in and start telling hardcore dudes in tennis shoes that they're not hardcore because they're not wearing Docs. Like, and then go do what you're doing. Don't do that. It's not nice. I know that dude's a nice dude. Be nice.
I will say when you said Corey, like doing like, you know, this type of singing with you and like his solo project, Stone Sour, and any fans that ever had problem with it. But also you got to think about like this for any fans that get bothered. It's like, that's kind of why probably Slipknot is still heavy and so late into their career. Cause how many heavy bands kind of go, we're just going to make half the album a ballad. Like we don't got time to scream, dude. Like we're so tired. It's like, no, whether the production's better or worse, stuff's still heavy to this day. Every album's heavy, whether you like it more or less than the other albums.
I love that about Slipknot. I appreciated that last album so much because of that. It just went hard. It was great.
Yeah, which is wild. Someone made a good point. It was like what's like a Metallica or almost a Metallica level band that didn't change. And it's like Slipknot. This is like, yeah, they made Snuff, but Snuff's great. And then every other song smashes you in the face with a keg and a clown hitting a bat over your head with it.
Those fans that love Iowa and Volume 3 will like criticize you right now because they see
and they're morons. Yeah, that was 2003 production. Yeah, it's 2021. It's gonna sound different no matter, even if they're the same people that hate each other. Like it's just gonna sound different unless you purposely make it sound like shittier. I don't know, like
no, for sure. And just with producing trends, like you think about the bands from the 90s and how like linear and squished all the guitars sound. Like Smashing Pumpkins, you just hear that like it's like the distortion guitar. It's like that sounded cool as shit at that time. Like you got in your car and you got in some teenager's car and they were playing like Today Is the Greatest and you're like, what? And now it sounds skinny, but like it's just production trends, and like those trends come back around too. And like you think about metal drums and how like skinny, because we wanted to get that gent so tight and that and like how tight we're trying to get our metal, like all that crap sounds fake now. But that's just like and I mean half of it, 75% of it is fake. I guess, when it comes to drum sounds.
Spoiler.
But like, you're just like, they're just production trends. What you have to look at is like, what are the songs? Like, have they changed? What's the root of what's happening? Like, is it the same? And for Slipknot, it is.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
and that's also what we're trying to do with our record too, is like, we want to make sure people know, yeah, we play a bunch of different genres. We play metal, punk, pop, glam, grunge, whatever. But we did that on the first record, and we're still doing that. We've never put out a Breaking Benjamin album, and we're never going to. It's not that we don't like that. It's just, that's not what we're doing. And so labels that have come along and been like, I wish it was more like this. It's like, well, then we're just the wrong band for that. And that's totally fine.
Well, also you must be psychic, because that was actually my next question. When are you going to write a Breaking Benjamin album?
I do it all the time.
I got like 7 of them, honestly. I just haven't had the time to put them out.
We do it all the time, and then Daisy goes, "That's not good for us," and we send it over.
You know how many times we won't blow you away? He's like, it just always ends up back and blow you away every time.
Yeah. So we write songs like that. We write like straight down the middle stuff we love and is good, but then we kind of end up setting it aside sometimes because we feel like it's not really our job as a band is to bring a little bit of weird into the equation, and so we just want to make sure we keep doing that. That's on brand for us. So if it, like, the lead single on this album was a song in 7 that has like kind of it's extremely like weird. It almost has like a new wave chorus, and it has like this like Blue Oyster Cult breakdown in the middle, and it ends with like a grungy Smashing Pumpkins vibe, switching between 7 and 4. So like our label was like, we said, can we put this out first? And the head was just like, well, if they love this, they'll love anything. Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
So yeah, that's what we do. We try to get a little weird, but still make it accessible for people to enjoy and not get stressed out by.
It's awesome. Well, it shows in the music. Again, it's super fun. And every song so far I've heard, checking you guys out, I was like, wow, this is super awesome. And not being able to put again. Hit it.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Tell your girls it's all right.
For sure.
Yeah, August 20th, it comes out on Rumble Records. It was a pleasure talking to you. And before we go, is there anything else that you want to plug or talk about?
No, I mean, I think I've just had a fun time talking to you guys. Yeah, you already plugged our record, and yep, we're for weirdos that like everything. So like, I would say if you don't like the first song you hear, just listen to a few more. You'll eventually find the one you like, because we do it all. So, yeah, that would be it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this. It was a pleasure, and hopefully we'll speak soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Cheers.
And we'll go back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience podcast right now. This is your host, Chris. We got my boy, Jesse. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up? How's it going?
Pretty good. Shout out to our awesome band that we had, the Dead Deads. We had Meta, guitarist, the front woman of the band, the Dead Deads. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's drop that album. It was Tell Your Girls It's All Right. August 20th, it comes out via Rumbling Records. Jess, what'd you feel, man? How do you like the record?
I didn't hear the record, but the interview was dope. I'll tell you that.
I mean, you're four songs off it. You can kind of get a feel for it.
Honestly,
I know she said it's all different, but
dude, you know me. I just hit play at the beginning of the discography on like YouTube. I just know everything sound. I listened to the single, the what do you call it, Corey Taylor, and I listened to basically their whole discography. Honestly, they're such a fun band. I don't know, like me, I don't really care about genre, and like sometimes I do get lost in that genre thing. But like she said, it's just rock. It's fun, and it's just a good time. Like whatever kind of music you like, I just feel like if they're at the bill opening, headlining, I feel like they would just be fun to see. I could just, from what I've heard.
Well, you can tell they're fun too, because they did the whole live production thing, and they talked about like Santa getting beamed up by Santa. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I was like, they definitely know how to have fun.
Yeah, which is awesome. And talking to her, she was a delight. It was super fun to hear all the things about Corey, and even getting lost, going down rabbit holes, talking about really awesome bands. It's like, dude, we talked actually in private, dude. Man, good music. You can't hate it. I don't give a fuck. If you're a music fan, you don't like it, go somewhere else. Go kick rocks. But I'm all for it. Bring it. Just give it all. All of it.
Give us all the good music.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
What's another band you've been listening to right now?
Well, actually, because of a YouTube shuffle, which YouTube actually drops the ball on this a lot. Ocean 8 Alaska. What is it? The specific song was this Silent Planet Trilogy.
Like that's a throwback.
Silent Planet Trilogy, Ocean 8 Alaska. It's the top of the YouTube thing, but it came on, and I'm not gonna lie, I listened to it a bunch. Like, let me get it real quick as I'm unprofessional and looking at this on but yeah, no, Ocean 8 Alaska, dude. Those two bands I very much did not look into, which I feel dumb for. Because they're dope. Oh, and also I showed you it, the Willow Smith song.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Go check that out. If you love like Silver Sun pickups and stuff, I don't know how big that is in metal. Like, it's dope. Hansha. Yeah, that song is wild by Ocean 8 Alaska. And I started listening I just kind of went to their discography and hit play, and I've been checking those two bands out basically.
Well, the bands I've been listening to recently are Fractal Universe, Monolith, Dune.
Oh, you suck up. Go fuck yourself. Made me look like an asshole.
Just name all the bands we've been on. Remember, guys, listen to those interviews, like them on Spotify, subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. But
reviews on iTunes. Good reviews, only good reviews. That's right. I'm going to say it.
Especially on the Fractal Universe one, because that album is killer. Then Passable Horizon, Metal Blade Records, and Metal Blade Records actually has been, this shouldn't be a surprise, but they've been pumping out some really good stuff like Kardashev. That's been really good.
It's been a surprise to me. Let me tell you, not impressed. Says the guy with the One Piece flag.
Pretty good.
Says the guy with the One Piece flag behind him.
And then the other band that I've been listening to a lot is Red Fang. So make sure you check out those interviews. No.
Actually, they've
been really good.
My brother's roommate, well, both of them, my brother and his roommate had the Red Fang vinyl, and I kind of feel like an idiot not buying it. But I'm poor right now.
That was limited edition?
No, not just the vinyl itself, just a vinyl. It was dope. Who gives? It's cool. Fuck you. We're still go buy it.
Sound like you're like, oh man, I wish I got that limited edition. You can't buy the vinyl. It's
yeah, I'm poor. Look at the set.
You made it sound like regret, like I'm never gonna be able to get that record.
Yeah, because I'm not going to buy it because I'm being smart right now.
You can still get it next year.
Sure, I'm going to go buy Wendy's after this. Sure, I'm going to go I got to go pick up scripts. I'm unhealthy, damn it. No.
Well, listen, guys, go get Wendy with Jesse.
It's actually my next podcast, Wendy's with Jesse. So we're going to eat yet another 20 piece of spicy nuggets, and I'm going to shit my pants. Now,
guys, again, check out the Dead Deads. They've been putting out some awesome songs. The Murder Ballad 2, Murder Ballad 1 is out as well, but that does not feature Corey Taylor on the new album. And remember, the album is called Tell Your Girls. It's all right.
So I was about to say, well, according to Chris, they both have Corey Taylor on. So just go
pre-order it, get what you can. There's awesome vinyls, like she said. So yeah, they even have their own website, so it makes it nice and easy for you all in one place. So
I will say one of the better band websites. I'm usually very underwhelmed by band websites. We always talk about that. Not gonna lie. I know, probably pull the curtain back. For God's sakes, if you're gonna have a website, update it. Nothing kills me more. You're spending money on a URL.
Yeah.
Put the fucking dates up, dude. Like, you dumb train. Yeah, no, they were awesome. The record, I can't wait to see it. I will say, though, I just said I don't have money. You know me. You put limited edition on the title. I don't give a fuck if it's actually limited edition. I tempt it. I put my fucked up eyebrow up. I'm like, huh? Okay. Like, dude, it's wild. Go buy it, especially those extra tracks.
And you know, you guys should do as well. Like and subscribe Jesse's YouTube channel because he does reactions.
Yeah, sometimes. But no, yeah, definitely. If I can get over 1,000, that would be dope. Like,
and just drum covers.
Yeah, I'm planning on becoming a Mod Sun drum cover. That's it, just Mod Sun. That's it, and a Hatebreed for some reason. I feel like that'd be a good mix. Get the cred back with Hatebreed, lose them with the Mod Sun. Though he's dope. Go fuck yourself.
And guys, I do a nice little radio show with my boy Rom.
Big radio show.
WMSC. It's on Montclair. It's huge. 90.3 WMSC every Tuesday, 7 to 10 p.m. So make sure you guys check that out. Interviews can be found on soundcloud.com/WMSC. So they do interviews for the radio show as well. So guys, tune into that. iHeartRadio is the best way to listen.
Boom. And again, comment on all the videos. Like you go back and listen to interviews, let us know, because we won't get better if you don't tell us. And if we're doing better, let us know. We're fragile.
And there's bands that you want on the show. Let us know as well.
Yeah, and also tell me about you, dude. I just like Chris, get out of frame. I just want to know about you, dude. Tell me about your life, what your dreams are,
bro.
Yeah, like are you from like a field or something? I want to know. What's the smell? What's it smell like? What's your deodorant? Old Swagger? Me too.
Before this gets too weird, let's cut this off. So guys, thank you for tuning in as always. Until next time, episode 51, I guess. Keep it real.